Welcome back, friends. Today we're diving into a tradition that's been passed down through generations, storing and cooking vegetables the old rustic way, right in a barrel. There's something magical about the aroma and taste that reminds you of family gatherings long ago. If you love discovering these little family secrets and old cooking traditions, stick around with us. We've got so many stories that will warm your heart and your kitchen. Meanwhile, my wife is busy picking tomatoes and cucumbers. There's something almost meditative about it, her hands moving through the garden, like it's been done this way for centuries. In traditional gardens, the timing of picking cucumbers and tomatoes was almost like a ritual. Families believed harvesting them at the perfect moment brought out the sweetest flavors. Right now, my wife is washing the bell peppers, and I love how this simple task feels like a little ritual, preparing the veggies with care, just like generations before us. I'm curious, do you have any family traditions in the kitchen that you cherish? Share your stories in the comments. I'd love to hear how your families make meals unforgettable. Today, my wife will be preparing the vegetables in the barrel: cabbage, carrots, peppers, tomatoes, eggplants, and so much more. It's amazing how something so simple can carry the weight of generations. Did you know that barrel cooking and fermenting goes back hundreds of years? Families would store vegetables this way to last through long winters. In some European villages, families used to add a few grape leaves or horseradish to the cabbage barrel. They discovered that these kept the sauerkraut crisp and prevented it from turning mushy. Fun fact: the wood of the barrel actually imparts subtle flavors to the vegetables, making every family's recipe unique. No two barrels ever taste exactly the same. In old households, barrels were often passed down like heirlooms. They carried not only vegetables but stories, smells, and the touch of generations. Some families added herbs, tiny secret ingredients, or a pinch of love, creating flavors that became their signature, secret recipes you couldn't find in any book. I remember visiting my grandparents' cellar as a kid, peeking at the barrels, imagining the stories hidden in each layer, the lives entwined with these humble vegetables. Fermenting bell peppers enhances their sweetness and reduces bitterness naturally. Traditional kitchens discovered that a short time in brine brings out flavors you'd never get from cooking alone. Fermentation, turning boring vegetables into a gourmet experience since someone got tired of eating plain cabbage, it's basically magic in a barrel. Did you know? In some regions, the order of layering vegetables is a closely guarded family secret. It affects how flavors blend and mature over time. And now I want to ask you, does your family have a preserved food tradition? Something that carries memories and flavors through time? Share your story below. I'm curious. The way you layer vegetables in a barrel changes the flavor. Heavier veggies like carrots go at the bottom, while softer ones like tomatoes are placed on top to prevent mushiness. Another tip, pressing each layer gently but firmly allows the juices to mix naturally, creating a rich, balanced taste without any extra additives. A little story from my childhood. My grandmother always tucked a few horseradish leaves between the layers. She said it kept everything crisp, and she was right, even decades later. Do you have any secret tricks for preserving or fermenting vegetables in your family? I'd love to hear your stories and hacks in the comments. On top, I add garlic, not just for flavor, but because it naturally helps keep the vegetables fresh longer and adds a subtle, tangy kick that develops during fermentation. Now I'm adding salt to the water before pouring it over the vegetables in the barrel. The salt not only draws out natural juices for fermentation, but also helps preserve the veggies. While I'm picking berries for tea, a little story from my childhood. We used to gather whatever wild berries we could find and brew them in a big pot, sipping together while listening to my grandparents' stories. The tea is already brewing, filling the air with a sweet, comforting aroma. It's funny how a simple cup of berry tea can instantly bring back memories of family afternoons and laughter. And finally, we cover the barrel. It's a simple step, but in traditional kitchens, sealing the vegetables meant the magic of fermentation could begin, slowly turning summer harvest into winter treasures. And here we are, about to have a mini picnic right in the backyard. It's the little moments like this that make summer so special. We'll be sipping berry tea, paired with fragrant, freshly baked buns. The aroma alone is enough to make you feel at home. If you enjoy these little traditions and cozy moments, stick around and join us for more. There's so much more to share. Now we're moving to the most exciting part, preparing piti, a traditional Azerbaijani stew that has been simmering in family kitchens for centuries. Each clay pot carries not only ingredients, but a story. Did you know that piti was originally cooked in individual clay pots called dokan and baked slowly in embers? Each pot held its own flavors, and families believed the gentle heat and aroma infused love into every bite. The order in which ingredients are layered really matters. Meat goes first, then root vegetables, chickpeas, and finally the spices. I remember helping my aunt prepare piti as a kid. We'd carefully layer each ingredient, arguing over who gets to place the last piece of lamb. Those small moments made the dish feel magical long before it ever hit the table. Piti isn't just about combining ingredients, it's about patience and timing. Slow cooking allows the meat to tenderize and the vegetables to release their natural sweetness, creating a rich, comforting stew that warms both body and soul. Here's a tip from local cooks. Adding a small piece of dried plum or apricot to the pot brings a subtle sweetness that balances the savory flavors perfectly. This trick has been passed down for generations. By the way, piti was once considered a luxurious dish. Centuries ago, only families with access to lamb and exotic spices could afford it, making it a special meal for celebrations or honored guests. Cooking? Piti in clay pots isn't just tradition. It helps retain heat evenly, so every bite from the first spoon to the last is warm, rich, and perfectly cooked. My grandfather always said the secret to a perfect piti is to listen to it while it cooks. The gentle simmer, the aroma rising from the pot, the soft bubbles. It's like the stew itself tells you when it's ready. Pre-soaking chickpeas overnight ensures they cook tenderly without overcooking the meat. Small preparations like this make a huge difference in the final texture and flavor. Piti is traditionally eaten in 2 steps. First, sipping the broth to enjoy its depth, then savoring the solids. This ritual lets you fully appreciate the layers of flavor carefully built over hours. Families often add saffron, local herbs, or a hint of lemon at the end. These finishing touches elevate the aroma and give each family's piti its own unique signature taste. In some regions, piti was cooked in communal ovens where neighbors shared fire and ingredients. It wasn't just a meal, it was a social event, a symbol of community and togetherness. Question for you. Do you have a traditional dish in your family that brings everyone together? Share your stories in the comments. I'd love to hear them. One of the secrets of piti is cooking it in clay pots. The clay retains heat evenly, enhances flavors, and slowly releases moisture, making the stew incredibly tender and aromatic. While I explain, my wife is adding finely chopped onions. Her touch always makes the flavor more rounded and sweet. Clay pots and these little careful additions turn a simple stew into something extraordinary, full of depth and character. Now I'm finishing up the tea while my wife gets everything ready. There's something so comforting about brewing a fresh cup together. Here's a little trick. Adding a few fresh mint leaves or a slice of lemon to the tea brightens the flavor and gives it a refreshing twist, making each sip even more special. I love how a small ritual like this, a cup of tea with your loved one, can feel like a celebration in the middle of an ordinary day. I've always loved horses. Their strength, grace, and gentle eyes have fascinated me since childhood. There's something magical about caring for such noble creatures. Did you know that horses can recognize human emotions? They respond to tone of voice and body language, making the bond between a horse and its caretaker truly special. Don't forget to add some dried apricots and nuts to the stew. They bring a subtle sweetness and crunch that elevate the flavors beautifully. Well, the stew is almost ready. The aroma has filled the air, and I can't wait to taste the fruits of our labor. Now it's time to sit down at the table, share this meal, and enjoy every bite together. It's what family meals are all about. Each spoonful carries the flavors of summer harvest, the patience of slow cooking, and a little touch of love from our hands. If you've enjoyed following along, don't forget to join us for more cooking adventures. There's so much more to share, so hit that subscribe button. Today, we are cooking a juicy chicken in the ground, a dish that's been passed down for generations in village kitchens. Every bite carries the warmth of tradition and the joy of togetherness. If you enjoy discovering these hidden traditions and flavors with us, don't forget to stay with our journey. There's so much more food, family, and stories to share. In Azerbaijan, burying food in the ground to cook is more than just a clever technique. It's a tradition born from the rhythm of village life. The earth itself becomes the oven, sealing in moisture and flavor. Long ago, families discovered that the soil keeps a steady heat, almost like nature lending a hand in the kitchen. What began as practicality slowly turned into a symbol of gathering. Imagine children running around the fire waiting for the moment the chicken would be lifted from the ground. For them, it wasn't just dinner, it was a little piece of magic. Every village has its own twist. Some add herbs to the pit, others line it with stones. But the idea remains the same. Food cooked this way tastes of patience, family, and time itself. While I prepare the samovar, filling it with glowing coals, my wife is busy slicing fresh orange to add into the tea. The scent alone makes the whole yard feel alive. In Azerbaijan, it's common to enjoy tea with citrus. Orange or lemon slices add brightness, and locals believe it helps balance the strong flavor of black tea. We're sitting here, surrounded by these peaceful village landscapes, letting time slow down with every sip of tea. On the table, there's a simple roll cake and a jar of homemade jam, sweet little companions that make the tea even more comforting. And how about you? What do you enjoy most with your tea? Something sweet, fruity, or just the pure taste of tea itself? Now we return to our chickens. The moment has come to lower them into the earth, where the real magic happens. One important tip, always wrap the meat tightly so no soil or ash can get inside. It keeps the flavor pure and juicy. Did you know this underground method locks in steam, almost like a natural pressure cooker? That's why the chicken comes out so tender. While our chicken slowly cooks underground, my wife is busy preparing a fresh salad full of cabbage, carrots, tomatoes, olives, and a touch of yogurt. This kind of salad is perfect with roasted chicken. The crisp veggies balance the rich, juicy meat beautifully. And don't forget the olives. They give a subtle, briny note that pairs perfectly with the smoky, tender chicken. So when you serve the chicken with this salad, you get a harmony of textures and flavors that make the meal truly unforgettable. The moment has finally come. We're lifting the chicken from the ground, and the aroma is simply irresistible. A quick tip, let it rest for a few minutes before cutting so all the juices stay locked in. It makes every bite melt in your mouth. Look at that golden, tender skin. It's amazing what patience, tradition, and a little heat from the earth can do. And now, it's time to gather around the table, share stories, and enjoy the fruits of our labor together. Pair it with the fresh salad, warm tea, and some sweet treats. Every bite feels like a celebration of family and tradition. If you love this journey into Azerbaijani village cooking, stay with us. There are more stories, flavors, and traditions waiting to be discovered.